thank you very much for having me. We have a broad topic, how to get kind of to 1 billion Neurotech users. So let me start with a short fun fact. Our brain hasn't changed in the last 80,000 years. While we obviously got a little bit more educated and better nutrition, the world has significantly changed, as I think we can all agree on. It especially got way more complex. And so what we believe is that the next major platform is also helps us kind of to deal with this complexity. So it's driven by the information bandwidth we have. It also has some interesting patterns, all of them in common. One is that they are all getting closer to the brain. Now, next will probably be on our nose, and then after that, probably on our brain. And they are all going in one pattern from like stupid in its capabilities to exciting to boring. I think we can all agree with smartphones. We are in the boring phase. And now we are coming with AR in this kind of like more exciting phase. And as it is also another pattern that we have for each of those different ways of interacting with them. So is it for the smartphone, the multi-touch? Is it now as called by Apple for AR, spatial computing? So it will be most likely for the next one, it will be neural computing, as it's a more immersive way of interacting with it. And kind of talking about this, we're talking about brain-computer interfaces and communications for movement, and also obviously therapeutic approaches. So as now many just think about how do I control my computer, there's so much more you can do with it. You can become healthy, track your brain vitals, treating depression, neurological diseases in general. By the way, think about which one you like best. I will ask you later. Then obviously you can become more happy. So improve your mood, silence self-doubt. You can increase focus, memorize better, and increase your learning capabilities like a special coffee. But you can also do some telepathic communication, and you can control devices as mentioned, and you even can get a little bit trippy with it. So be special. What is the technology that is making this available? So we have invasive, less invasive. We have a lot of different forms. Important is they can stimulate or they can record from your brain. And there are a lot of different form factors. 5 minutes are not enough to get into them. But to let you know, there are obviously all working via magnetic, electric, or light stimulation or recording. And they have different forms of data pulling out what will be important for my question to you. So they're all also following more or less the same data pipeline we are having. So we have signal acquisition, we have pre-processing, then we extract some features, and out of the features we need a classification device, commands, then kind of to do something with what we recorded in the brain. Also, one additional difficulty is that we try to close the loop with the brain. It's not just stimulating something into the brain, but also measuring what is happening, and based on that, adapting what we are doing. To improve the difficulty once more, as you see, there are more different kinds of data we want to integrate kind of into the process to improve it. So like, where am I? Am I in my bed? Am I like at work? An example. So the challenges, it's to get to 1 billion users is kind of create the value and the use cases, also besides therapeutic, to make it worth using it, reliability, maturity, accessibility, friction. But now the point what I want to discuss with you now in a minute is about the data. And the point is, with neural data, we have a lot of them. Not enough, you can never have enough data, but we have a lot of mice running through a maze, and then we are measuring what's happening there, kind of with the different neurons in the brain. And now we obviously also try to get kind of to more real world use cases, but it's a lot of like asking you, oh, play a game and then I'm measuring. But what I want to know is kind of what's happening when you're solving an Excel, when you're solving an insurance case, what is like in your real world is happening. Now with big machines, it's not as easy to do. And the interesting case now with AI is when I was discussing it with this special group in San Francisco, including the founders of Muse, the most common non-invasive or like Neurolink is the one company most people know in this field. They were like, okay, what we are actually missing are this labeling of the real world use cases.
30 seconds more?
I only need 10. Okay. And the interesting, while we are missing the labeling, we said, okay, but it also will get less important as kind of AI can help us with the labeling kind of these real world data, well contextualized. Or the other question is it maybe more the processing pipeline, kind of from getting the data as raw as we have it with a lot of noise, and kind of into something useful. And how can AI help us with that? So these are my questions I brought today.